We have Infernoid, Mitsurugi, and even Ryzeal for this top 32. Make sure you guys smash the link, crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more content. Oh, we're continuing on to top 32 here, and I think this is one of the coolest Draco Tail lists I got to see out of the weekend, was actually using the Magistus stuff to be able to set up the Zorowa. Zorowa being a tuner monster, which did give you extra access to getting to the Ecclesia, the Black Dragon, so you could actually continue on combo. If we had the Sword Soul Synchro, I think we could do some other really cheesy things, but I thought that was really cool. Next up, we did have some Radiant Typhoon action back here. This list actually playing the two Storm Deities, which the Storm Deities were a very common theme out of the weekend. These cards did so much overtime work in these lists that it felt just crazy to actually watch. I do see we're side decking Super Poly to make Chorozo down here. That's kind of a scary thought, actually, but I mean, I guess. Interesting. Next up here, we do have more Vanquish Soul. There was, I mean, as much Vanquish Soul as you can throw that people were trying to play out here with different variations. I do see that this list did play DD Crows in the main deck. Crow being one of those little optional cards that you can actually just use to start taking away things from the opponent's graveyard, which might help to a certain degree. We also do get to see Heavy Slump coming in here. I mean, being able to thrust into this and then take away the opponent's hand's kind of funny. Next up here, we had more Radiant Typhoon. Holy crap, man. So much Radiant Typhoon even on the back burner here. This build going with the triple Sheena and going with the triple X-Trap. I do not hate the fact that you've got different variations of numbers for this. It's just, we also played Diablo Lenitus in here to get into some immediate solutions for things, I guess. We also played Triple Evenly Matched as well, kind of as that little blowout card that you could have for going second. It did help. Next up is some Exo Sister Love. This list going with 777 Tachyon in the main deck. I have not seen a lot of 7 Tachyon being discussed like at all. I just don't know if it really felt like it was going to be, you know, good enough for the meta right now, or if players are just kind of bouncing back and forth on the possibility that they're just better cards. But I don't know. I found this to be an interesting little discussion point for the list. And then we've also got Ryzeal Mitsurugi. Man, even with all of these limitations, even with Ame Limited, somebody still brought the list to town and actually did all right with it. I mean, you just kind of rely on the Manju to be the normal summon now. I do see that we have the Mutually a Fjord Destruction actually coming in here. Definitely show that they were actually kind of worried about Vanquish Soul being a real deck. But I mean, if you do flip this face up, you do get some funny interactions from the opponent. Next up is Ye Old Yummy. I know, right? Pyre Map was, I think, one of the best inclusions that I think this deck was trying to use over the weekend, and I think it did work out decently well for a lot of players. You just got to be very careful because, you know, losing half of your life for this put a lot of people in a lot of situations that they just ended up losing the game to battle damage. Next up here, we have more Draco Tail. Now, this list actually is playing the Delta in the main deck. I don't actually hate having Delta and 1 Gamma as access points. You know, you've also got the additional Delta in the side deck if you do have to side into these to be able to kind of keep things going on, like the little power negates. You know, we're just not playing Omega or anything like that, which, I mean, it's fine. You can't really afford it. I mean, Ecclesia gets access to it, which is good. All right, lower half of top 32. We had the Infernoid pile, and I gotta give this list some major props, man. They really surprised me by choosing to bring this to the table, and they actually performed very nicely. I did watch some of their games. They were very strong and very challenging. The Foolish Extra Burial here did help out, but all of this is just going to get credited to the massive skills that are the grass looks greener for this deck. The pure Mitsurugi pile. Who needs multiple Ame when, you know, you can just slap one Habagiri in the deck and go. I do kind of feel like this hurt the deck a little bit. You are relying on the Fiendsmith stuff to kind of help get a little bit of a setup. Because, I mean, one engraver is kind of good enough to go, which is interesting, I feel like. But, you know, you could have definitely had some other options. But, I don't know, this list feels like it's missing something. Maybe more Habagiri. Next up here, we're playing Crowley and Friends. There's another take on the whole spoon of the Seal of Majestus, which I think was fine. A lot of players are definitely tinkering around with different variations of this, which was nice. I do see that this list is playing the Light Dragon Ad Ignister, which this does give you some actual protection, I guess. It's definitely not something that I would be throwing around in all of the lists, but I do like the idea that this is meant to help you, you know, have protection. Next up is some Lunalights. Now, this is what we were talking about with how it was interacting with the last format, where, you know, you wanted to build the branded side into the deck to be able to, you know, try to bait the opponent. Because, you know, the minute they see a branded fusion, their brain's automatically going to go, ooh, you know, I can't let that resolve. You know, you want to be able to kind of control that. And I think that's actually kind of fair, but it does actually help with baiting out a lot of the different situations for sure. Next up, we have, more of the Draco Tail special. Now, this list going with the 2 Fallen of White. This list also playing 2 Incredible Ecclesia. Is the Incredible Ecclesia getting outed actually that much of a problem? I mean, I knew I saw some Bestials walking around like this, but that was interesting. I also do see we're side decking the Retribution in here. That's kind of a spicy little tech choice. I hadn't really thought much about that, but I do like that. Next up here, we have more Vanquishal. This list playing the 1 Chaotic Elements. I mean, a case of Canine is limited to 1. I feel like at certain points, you kind of have to accept the concessions that, like, maybe Elements is a card you want to expand on, but I mean, you're still fighting the urge that Joe Cool is limited to 1. We've got 1 of the Noroi in here for the initial, you know, board. So, I mean, it really just kind of depends on where we're trying to go with this. Next up is more. Oh, this build's playing a singular King of the Swamp. Well, that's kind of cool. I guess this card's job is, I mean, there's nothing down here that's, like, specifically named that, like, I care too much about. I mean, are we just doing this to search for the poly, I guess, and then maybe recycle it? Because there's no Dark Dragoon down here in the extra deck at the moment, which kind of slots this in as a really weird thing. Also maximizing on the triple Fallen of White. All right, and then our last little list here is some more Vanquishal. Now, this list actually did choose to go with the triple Chaotic Elements. We basically want to make sure that, you know, we're seeing the key ingredients to get the board set up, which is a pretty normal thing. But also, shout out to the Dimensional Fissure here. Every list that had Dimensional Fissure on call-up this weekend felt like it was going to be in a pretty strong position. And I mean, that seemed like it was pretty good. So deck lists are looking great here. This tournament showed us a lot of the perceptions that we've got for this format are about to get turned upside down. It showed us that, you know, everybody, including me, thought that we would be seeing, you know, Draco Tail sitting at the top of the throne with the new Fallen of Albaz, and it would be making, you know, a crazy splash in the meta. Well, that still, you know, might be decided, because, I mean, this is just one tournament out of way more infinite possibilities that can be discovered here. Right now, Radiant Typhoon definitely sits on the throne as what I would personally consider to be probably one of the best decks, if not looking like the best deck of, you know, the format going forward. Now, I mean, does that mean that, you know, you got to rush out to get Radiant Typhoon before the 300th? No. It means that you might want to, you know, up your testing and start to consider, you know, is this a choice that I actively want to make for the 300th, you know, or do I at least want to test this and see if it feels, you know, correct for me as a player? That's kind of the cool thing that we get to see with early data here, is we get to see, you know, players, you know, contradicting the thoughts and establishments of the meta to try to overcome the norms. And I like that about this game. I like that we can see different opinions, different takes coming into the game and actually breaking the normal that we're used to seeing. So we'll wait and see what happens from here, but I'm excited, to say the least. So please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons! Thank you. Ah!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.